back to the TechLounge studio over here at the Intel booth in Hall 3 of Mobile World Congress 2015 in still sunny Barcelona. I'm very glad to have Hermann Eul over here. He's the Vice President of the Mobile and Communication Group at Intel. Hermann, exciting times for you guys right now. Mobile World Congress, the biggest event of the year, especially for this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the biggest event of the year for all of us here. I just wonder, where do you actually know from that it is still sunny? I haven't seen any sun so far. We are all in these catacombs here on the show, in the booth.
I was kind of predicting it because of the forecast from early this morning, right? It still felt pretty good.
And you hope it's still there, no? Yeah, good.
And you know what? And we're sitting in front of these bright LED lights, so somehow it's getting you into this mood.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's good weather outside. Last few days, at least, when we got out there, and everybody is here this year. It's just amazing to see what this industry continues to deliver every year.
You know, we've been talking a lot about devices and new technologies and Internet. A couple of launches over here 2 days ago with the new Intel Atom series, and also adding some additional technologies. We might going to take a look at it a little bit later in a tablet that we have here with us. But the Mobile World Congress is also a show about infrastructures and ecosystems. And you've been on a quite exciting panel yesterday. There was the 5G panel. We're still talking about 4G and LTE and trying to roll it out into different markets. But the next big thing is coming already.
Yeah, we have to develop these kind of technologies. That takes years. And so we have to think about what is the next one while we are just introducing 4G. It's not yet everywhere 4G, and we talk about already 5G. Not everybody understands that actually, but this industry has always been that way. When we introduced 3G, we were already talking about 4G and needed to specify it so that it's there today. It has always been the case. Insiders understand this. Sometimes some people come and ask and say, why should I actually now buy a 4G device if you're already talking about 5G? But think it's 2020. No? By then, we have used at least 4, 5, 6 additional generations of technology. This needs so much work. All those patents need to be written. The research needs to be done. We have to really seriously think about what do we expect the 2020 generation of network to deliver. It's hard to imagine what we expect it to deliver. We have not yet even exploited all of that what we can today. Yeah. So it needs time to build this.
And we are already talking about some serious networks and bandwidth when we saw what you also have with your module and the new Intel Atom series. We're talking about a 4G Cat 6. So this is probably like 450 Mbits a second max, right, down. So these are already very, very fast networks. But technology is evolving and developing, and it's quite interesting because we've also had some talks about 4K over here, and I know that Atom is also supporting this. And not a lot of people are actually aware that we are selling already like 100 or 200 million 4K capable devices each and every year, because these are smartphones. So we're creating 4K content, but we also need the networks to share it. And 5G would be the network for this.
Absolutely. The idea of the data rates that we can support with the next generation currently is so crazily high that we think, what is that actually good for? But history has always chosen, with any highway, it just fills itself. Yeah. And we have such a data demand, we will just use that up. And that is the trend. And with the new content, we need higher data rates. Yes, of course, we get better data compression algorithms as well, but it doesn't count it. And we are always on. We are changing our life pretty much day by day by day. And one thing is a given, one thing is sure. Tomorrow we will need more data than we needed yesterday. So that is the trend, and the industry supports it. Engineers have good and bright ideas on how we can do this. We are at the forefront of this. We are in every standardization, and we drive the standardization forward so that in the end we have compatible and not spotty solutions.
This exponential growth of data that is happening, especially in the mobile space right now, and how we are coming up with prediction of technology is supposed to be in especially this magic year of 2020, because it's not only the IT industry that's constantly talking about this. I have a lot to do with the automotive industry, right? And for the automotive guys, it's all about the automated car, right? In the year 2020, we would love to roll out a self-driving car. But there's also a vision for 2020 when it comes to wireless devices, which I think is really exciting because I'm constantly on the road. I constantly have to work mobile. And I talked to Kirk about this earlier, especially when you're coming into a hotel. Yes, we all have these nice little docking stations right now with the I/O ports, right? But still, why can't I just switch on my laptop or switch on my smartphone, immediately connect to the big screen while it's even charging wirelessly? But this is going to happen.
Yes, absolutely. And the no wires generation is that is what is coming, and it's so evident now that we need to have this. Nobody wants to carry all those cables around. Nobody wants to set up all these complicated connections, and it can be done. It could be done already today. The technology is there. We need a harmonization as usual. Island solutions don't grow really fast. That is the reason why we at Intel have always worked and pushed for solutions that are just standardized so that it can really grow, that mass production can happen, that makes it more cost competitive and more cost efficient, and then everybody can, so to speak, afford it. That is important. Be that for the wireless connection, be that for charging. It's important that everything works together with everything. And we can do this. But we should not underestimate the necessary amount of regulation that needs so that we get everybody pretty much on the same denominator.
And I think you have a track record of proving that you can do this. Was it back in 2003 with Centrino when you launched the wireless module? And those were the days when I was using a laptop over an RJ45 cable all the time, right? And out of a sudden, no, actually, then I got a PCMCIA card to connect to my Wi-Fi. This huge, bulky card, and then Centrino happened, and it changed the whole landscape.
Yeah, it harmonized everything, and everybody wanted to have a Centrino, and it changed the whole landscape actually within 2 years.
Yeah,
not very much more, in such a rapid rate that we could find people that never had ever seen a wireless connection.
Yeah.
At the same time, we had people that were using it already every day. Yeah. At the same time, so it just flipped over within so short of a period of time, which was good for the entire industry. I remember those days back very much. People were saying, what do I need actually a wireless connection for? I can use that cable or whatsoever. And 2 years later, nobody actually asked that question anymore. Yeah. That was a good masterpiece to convince also politicians and regulators on, we in the communication industry, we are working on stuff that we actually bring to the market in 2 years from now, which we cannot imagine today. That is the speed.
It was definitely an enabler and a driving technology to kind of push Wi-Fi into the market, wireless networks that we have right now all over the place. Well, we are based in Taipei. We have a free Wi-Fi all over over Taipei city that you can use for free. And I couldn't imagine it any other way. Could you imagine sitting in a coffee shop and everyone is connecting his notebook to a cable?
It would not have developed.
That's a really good point. Yeah. It would have never developed that way.
Yeah.
We would have much less notebooks in the market. We would have a completely different work attitude. We couldn't work mobile like we do right now without the Centrino and what it did to the market.
Yeah. And then the next revolution was the cellular connectivity. Everybody has to have it cellular now, and I predict it will not take until 2020. Then you will not know anymore over which technology you actually get your data. We shouldn't bother about that. Yeah. The device should know that, select the best way on how to connect, and sure, the bills will find your your post box, and you will be charged somehow for it. So nothing is for free, but as it makes life much easier, we can be more productive. So we will earn that money back right away, very, very fast.
You know what's quite interesting? Like about 6 years ago or 7 years ago, the first 3G connected notebooks came to the market, and I used to use 3 generations of them. Now I'm not using them anymore because it kind of made a transition into our smartphones, because I can open up a mobile hotspot on each and every smartphone. So I actually don't need this module anymore in my notebook. But of course, the Wi-Fi module is still in there.
Yeah, there's different philosophies to this. That is the hotspot. If you can do this, not every operator allows you to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
So not everybody has that luxury as you described now. Many don't do that, but technically it's possible. We see that. So it's again something that needs a regulation and needs a tariff in order to really become absolutely immersive. On the other hand, it is a completely different experience if we don't have to do any connection at all anymore. So setting up your hotspot has some disadvantages. It sucks your battery. It usually switches off after a while. Having that in your notebook and you just open the lid of the notebook and it connects has a merit by itself as well. So there's different ways on how to solve that technology. One thing is given, and that is we want to be just seamlessly be connected.
Yeah. Another topic that we really need to talk about is what's happening in China, in mainland China, because I mean this is probably the most dynamic mobile market that there is right now. The competition is so high, and I can see more and more how much of an impact it even has on the Western market because of the new brands that are coming from China, and how they're especially driving amazingly good products into the entry-level market right now. Now you can get flagship devices for an entry-level price.
China is an amazing country. So for many, many years already. So it's actually not so new, but it develops so quickly that every year you think there's something really great new. And they have taken a lot of the smartphone business, and with this big domestic market, you have a wonderful place where you can try all that stuff out, and the people are also very flexible in buying the next generation, and have a much better understanding than we Western people have for stuff that isn't yet 100% ready yet. And okay, but in half a year, the next one, or next quarter, next one will just be better. Try, improve. This goes so fast in this world, and and then of course people want to export it, and people buy it. Yeah, it's amazing to see what happens there.
Very simple technologies like about 80% of the smartphones that are shipping into the domestic Chinese market are coming with dual SIM, right? And like 5-6 years ago on Western market, it never really happened. And now we see even more premium OEMs also offering this to the Western market. So it's definitely a kind of feature that came somehow from China. We also have a device over here. Hermann, can you tell us a little bit about this?
So that is a device here, which we do as a reference design, in particular for the Chinese markets and the companies there that really appreciate having something which is almost fully built in a way, and which they can then go and copy and make their individual modifications to. So this is the most recent product, the LTE version of Sophia, the Atom X3 generation, and so there's the camera, yeah.
Can we just switch over? Here we go. So this is like a 5.7 inch, I would guess, or 5.5.
It's a little larger.
It's even 6?
Yeah.
There you go.
We have
almost.
But The screen size actually does not matter. It's an example that we built that is very trendy currently in China. That size of screen, you can put a 5-inch screen on it. You can even build a tablet out of it, a 7-inch or 8-inch.
Interesting.
Whatever you want. It's so flexible that you can exchange this. We have about 4 to 8 weeks until a customer can go to production.
Oh wow!
From this, depends on how much the customer wants to change and individualize, and just go and do.
And it's LTE 4G enabled. I can even see front-facing speakers over here, which is really nice because, I mean, the Ghetto Blaster of the 70s, a smartphone of the second decade of of this millennium. So this is really interesting, and especially what you just said. You know what? That in this short period of time, for a new OEM, a new brand wants to pick up this reference design and wants to go into production and wants to also maybe customize it to the needs, whether it's their carrier, whether it's their specific branding, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and they are actually very innovative in finding some sweet spots on different feature set or modifications where they think there is an additional market for it, are very fast in adapting the stuff and the design to it and get it into production. Yeah. And they are also very versatile in building smaller lots of productions,
right?
And getting them out in a kind of a shape as it was a big production.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is very, very important to also create competition and diversity in the market, and to have the chance for an OEM who just can't afford to get like 1 million units on stock, right? Because this definitely takes some financial backup, and you need to make sure that you have a customer base for this. But for a new breed of brands that are coming from China, to just have the chance to maybe even do some test runs with a smaller production series, and just to try them out on the market.
Yeah, that is how they do this, actually. The philosophy is very much about just try it out. If it doesn't work, improve it. And sometimes, in most cases, it is much faster to just try it out 3 times, spin it with the fast turnaround times those guys can do, rather than making a study about for 3 years on what to do best. And with this, I see a lot of other components, other products growing so fast in this environment. It is very, very amazing to see. And it is also, for us, when we entered this area, we learned a lot, and we had to adapt to the particular supply chains there, which also comes at times with some risk. We had also occasions where we had a wonderful customer, a wonderful design, and then we had a customer of ours and said, "Hey, can I buy 5 million of that?" And out of a sudden we figured out, oh, that supply chain cannot deliver 5 million. Out of a sudden they are very fast in building 2,000, but 5 million, it's not working. So, and that took some learning cycles for us as well to adapt it, so that we can now build large series with components that you get in large series, but also small series with components that are available from a local distributor.
You know, last but not least, let's switch over to a company that tried itself out for over 30 years. And you can definitely tell all the experience that they've made, and to come up with a device like this. This is the thinnest tablet in the world. Absolutely beauty. Intel and Dell, they were showing this for the very first time at IDF 2014 in September. It's not only the thinnest tablet in the world, it's not only having one of the most amazing displays, but what I would love to show you on the back is there are 3 cameras here. So, and they're using the RealSense technology. You have 3D cameras over there on the back, and you can do amazing post-processing of images. We already have a video on our YouTube channel, so you can check this out. It's actually shipping right now. They started to ship it in January to the US. My sample is still in the customs of Taipei, so I hope it will be there when I'm back, because in terms of build quality and design, this is really a statement. Yeah. And it's running on x86. There you go. x86 can be really sexy, as you can see.
Yeah. That is really a statement, and so everything could be done in a different way as well. But if you look at this, it has the most actual, the most concurrent, the most bright display that you can have today. Yeah. Then it has a battery life which is absolutely state-of-the-art, long battery life, and still it has that super sleek package here. And so we didn't have to make compromises on the battery life. And now comes the real deal. We brought this 3D camera into this. So that is it. You see the 3 cameras here. Let me try and show that here. This one here. So there's one here, one there. So you can hold it this way, that way, or in all directions. You can actually capture 3D pictures. And when we started this design, we actually did not know whether we can squeeze that down into a 6mm thin tablet. That was absolutely not proven at that point in time. We took the risk and said, guess what? We have the brightest engineers and we will do something which is just mind-boggling. And so this combination of the battery life of this device, the power consumption, the brightness of the screen, the 3D camera, and that all in that form factor has never been done before. I think that makes the whole thing. And then you have the stunning audio experience as well. You didn't mention that. So, and if you watch a video and have the front audio speakers here, we invested a lot of brain power into how do we actually get an audio quality out of such a thin device, and also that worked. So it's a wonderful piece of engineering, and the price to which they offer this is actually, compared to what it delivers,
I think it's $399.
Yeah, it's $399.
And once again, you know what? This is also a design statement. It will still look good in 5 years from now. I tell you that. This is a really timeless piece of technology that you designed. Right. Hermann, thank you so much for being on the stream. This was really interesting, especially talking about all these new ecosystems and talking about 5G. While we're still in some parts of Europe are working for a proper 4G connectivity, but you have to think ahead and you need to see what's coming on the way to the next generation of technologies.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always about building the future, and that needs to start early.
Thank you so much. So we're going to take a little break right now of some 5 minutes, and then we're going to continue with the live stream. So I'll see you very soon.